Hi everybody, it's John back with another model final reveal video. Today it's the PM Models Focke Ta-154a Moskito. This is the aircraft which Kurt Tank hoped would be a contender in the night fighter and tactical strike role, similar in construction and appearance to the de Havilland Moskito. He actually called the aircraft the Moskito, although it was spelt differently the way it's normally spelt in German. The actual aircraft was built to a total number of about 50 airframes. Unfortunately, the factory that produced the special glue that was required to laminate the wood to form the airframes of these aircraft was bombed completely into non-existence by the Allied bombing campaign, specifically the 8th Air Force during the daylight raids. And because of this, the fact that the Heinkel HE-219 was also showing exceptional promise and would soon enter service anyway, the TA-154 project was cancelled, and unfortunately it was an aircraft which I think could have proved quite a worthy adversary for especially for the Allied bomber streams. But anyway, what's the PM model like? Well, there's a lot of controversy about this particular kit, and I have a couple of things negative, well, maybe three or four things negative to say about it. It's not particularly accurate. The airframe itself, if you look at the forward section of the airframe, it's not particularly accurate. The aircraft's wing section is a bit of a nightmare to when you're building the aircraft and in the construction of the airframe stage, and there's quite a lot of whittling and filling to do on this kit to make the aircraft's fuselage look acceptable. The underside of the aircraft is not too bad. It's got a pathetic forward undercarriage well, which is a bit of a shame, and the undercarriage, the main ODO undercarriage themselves they're not too badly moulded and detailed. The craftsmanship on them on this entire kit is not fantastic, um, but yeah, that's not where the main issue is. The main issue to me is the aircraft has a sort of a nose high stance, and although I've put nearly 22 grams of weight into the nose and the forward engine nacelles, it still sits on its tail. I tried very, very hard to get this aircraft to sit on its undercarriage, but unfortunately it didn't. There's probably would have needed an extra 2 or 3 grams, I think, and it would have been all right. The cockpit interior is a bit of a joke. It's a floor pan, 2 seats, and a joystick. And what I'm going to try and do for you now is to try and show you um, what I've done with this cockpit itself, because the aircraft itself, as what you get in the kit, is pretty basic. It's pretty terrible, and I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see into there, but unfortunately you can't. That's a bit of a shame, really. But I did put some control consoles and boxes beside the seats. There's even a rear view radar operator's station in the rear cockpit, and there's quite a bit of extensive, if you like, modifications to the interior of this aircraft, which, if you wanted to put pilots in this aircraft, there's no room at all, because the seats and the way the floor pan of this kit is produced, you can't actually get pilots to sit in the seats properly, and they would actually be a problem to get the canopy to fit down flushly on the fuselage itself. The forward aerials are a bit of a joke. I tried to arrange them as best I could. It's quite a complicated array to manufacture these aerials, because according to the kit they're in 3 parts, and they're quite heavy aerials. They're not very nice to actually align, and the aerial themselves are just too thick, aren't they? The other issue I had with this kit is the propellers, because neither of the propellers rotate, and the reason for that is because the idea is the annular radiator. Can you see the annular radiator on the front of here, directly behind the propeller itself? That forms the bearing through which the propeller pin protrudes through, but unfortunately it's completely flush with the back of the annular radiator part. So the two retainer, if you like, the little tubes, they're like little washers that you're supposed to glue onto the back of the propeller shaft. You can't glue them because there's not enough of the propeller shaft. Well, there's no propeller shaft showing through at the back of the radiator bearing there. So you have to glue, and as a lot of people have done, you have to glue the propellers in place so they won't rotate. And a lot of people who have reviewed this kit online and built it online have said exactly the same. There's no issue with it, but you can't have the propellers working. The overall airframe itself, in my opinion, came out quite nicely. It's not a fantastically accurate kit, but in my opinion, it's worth being a paint mule. But if you wanted a Ta-154, I think your best option, I can't remember, is it Hasegawa do this kit? I think Hasegawa does this kit in 72nd scale, and the 48 scale option by Revell, an Italeri. I'm sure it's an Italeri kit. I'll just check this for you very quickly. I'm pretty sure. Let's just check, because I don't want there to be an issue over research on this, but I'll just check it very quickly. And then we can have a look and see what the score is. Right, in 72nd, let's just have a look at this. There it is. Oh God. That's the one. There we go. Right, yeah, Hasegawa did a 72nd scale model of this, and it's got quite good reviews. They also did a Mistral kit, and it's definitely not based on the PM model kit. But I did do an in-box review of this model, and I've explained the different options and the ones to steer clear of, which are based on the PM or Pioneer 2 models kit, of which the Revell and the Airfix Mistral kit and the Matchbox kit are definitely based on this particular model. Not a good option, but I would recommend more so the Hasegawa kit. And also you can get a model of this aircraft in 1/48th, and the best option to go for in 1/48th, I would have thought, is probably the Revell kit, but Hasegawa do a nice version of this as well, so yeah, you could go for the Hasegawa kit, which would be a good option in my opinion. Anyway, would I recommend this kit? For a serious modeler, probably not. For a novice builder, it does assemble okay, but you're always going to have the issue with the propellers. There's nothing you can do about that. But I wouldn't recommend this kit for a professional builder, or a modeler who, a serious modeler who's had quite a lot of models under their belt. I wouldn't recommend this kit at all for anybody in those terms. But it is cheap to get hold of. You can usually get hold of this kit for about £5 or £6. In the shops it's around about 12, and it's quite easy to pick up as long as your local model stock PM models. So anyway, that's the final reveal on this kit. I hope this video has been of use, and I hope all your modelling projects are going very smooth, and I'll see you for the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.